audible and your screen is
And my
also
slide is
visible.
visible. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So today is very nice day. It is my pleasure to welcome all the participants, all faculty members, research scholars, working on the mental health professionals, and all guests, all executive members on this second day of 5 days faculty development program. The respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of AMITY University, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Sir, and Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Ankita Chakravarti Bhattacharya Madam, my friend Dr. Akash Mahato, and everyone who are joined today with us, and all of you are none but the pioneer of this unique program. It is truly an excellent opportunity to be here in this webinar on faculty development program at AMITY University, Kolkata. I would like to congratulate whole team and especially all authorities of the AMITY University for selecting such a nice, excellent theme on the faculty development program. It is unique. It's really unique. Mental and behavioral health of students, bridging the teacher-student gap. Today, I am very glad, I am very delighted to see many famous and renowned people joined together on this webinar platform, and many more speakers. I've gone through the brochure. Many more speakers from the different part of India, along with the authorities of AMITY University with us. With the permission of all resource person and moderator, I would like to start my topic of discussion, which is the role of meditation and yoga for school and college student during COVID-19 pandemic. But before going to topic, I will request all of you to let's begin our session with the prayer of unity. Either listen to me or chant with me with your closed eyes, wherever you are sitting, no matter. Just close your eyes and close your hand in the, just like a pranama mudra for next few seconds. And if it is audible, just listen the prayer of unity. Or if it is not audible, just chant with me. Om Sanghachadvam Sambudadvam Sambho Manasi Janatam Deva Bhagam Yatha Purve Sanjananan Upasati. Om Sambhachadvam Sambudadvam Sambho Manasi Janatam. Thank you for joining me in this prayer. So this slide is visible now, I think. Mahatoji, madam, is slide is visible?
Yes, sir. The slide is visible. You can continue.
COVID-19 slide is visible now.
Right. What is COVID-19? This is the slide.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. So thanks all of you to joining with me in this prayer of unity. And today we are going to discuss few slides, just few slides on COVID-19, just to touch the sign and symptoms. And then after we'll get shift to the students' mental health issue during COVID-19. And we will also discuss the few significance of adolescent mental health in relation to pandemic, impact of pandemic on the school and college going students. And we will also touch a very important topic where I will show how panic is more dangerous than any sort of pandemic. And we'll also discuss the different kinds of stress challenges faced by the students during this pandemic, and how to combat with the rising stress, anxiety, depression, suicide, deliberated self-harm, substance use, eating, sleeping, and internet addiction behavior that has been raised during this pandemic. We also, at the end of the session, we will go through the concept of meditation and yoga and its role in combating with all these raising psychological issues. So let's first see a few slides on the COVID-19 infection. It was 5th January 2020 when a meeting was held in Geneva with including all countries, especially on the topic a pneumonia of unknown cause that has been emerged from the China, a city known as Wuhan. The first virus appeared in late 2019 in the city of Wuhan, and it was known to be the coronavirus. Coronavirus disease is an infection caused by the specific virus known as SARS-CoV-2. It has spread quickly since then, and there are new cases at the new places, including many continents, Europe, Asia, America, United States, and India also. It was March 11, 2020 when it spread more than 114 countries. The World Health Organization declared it to be a pandemic. And then we are now, still now, we are suffering the effect of pandemic. Every day we are suffering either infection or the fear of infection. We all know that there are different symptoms of COVID-19 throughout the 1.5 year. We are now matured to know what are the symptoms of sign and symptoms of COVID-19. So I will not take your valuable time by discussing all the signs and symptoms. But few things I want to highlight. As a clinician, I have seen that symptoms may appear within 2 days to 2 weeks after exposure of the virus. So 14 days is the window period. And mainly the symptoms are congestion of the nose, running nose, new loss of taste and smell. Mind it, new loss of taste and smell. If someone is not getting the taste and smell from long time, that doesn't matter. There is a new loss of taste, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, difficulty of breathing, especially in the second wave, fatigue of muscle, body ache, fever, chill, nausea, vomiting. Apart from all this, today we are here to highlight the psychological issue related with the COVID-19 during pandemic and post-pandemic. So let's concentrate ourselves on that matters. Let's discuss few points about the students' mental health issue pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic. We all know that teenagers and the college students have amplified amount of energy. They have novelty, motivation, curiosity, and enthusiasm that make them hard to isolate at home. But the time is such that they are bound to isolate at home. We parents are very much worried about this situation. We don't want to make them isolate. We don't want to confine them at home. But still, this is the situation. We have to do this. That causes a significant change in the mental status and make them unstable in the mind. If we look back to the life before pandemic, there was a pleasant experience in different domain of life. We all know that when there is a full pleasant in the body, that is known as health. When you are happy within your mind, that is known as peace. And when you are happy throughout your emotion, that is known as love and compassion. And especially when you are happy at each and every level of your energy, whether it is physical energy or psychological energy, that's known as a blissfulness, blessing of the God. And with all this health, peace, love, compassion, and blissfulness, when you walk, you can make your surrounding very much pleasant for everyone, and that is known as success in the life. But it was not the fate. The fate was something else. And the fate was something else. And still we are suffering the pandemic and the effect of the pandemic. So let's forget those happy days of before pandemic. And now, since we are facing the pandemic, we need to discuss few issues related with the acute phase or long phase. Pandemic has its effect both on body and mind, environment also. But during the acute phase, when its impact that is within 2 to 6 months, it is known as immediate mental health issues. And the immediate mental health issues, students are more vulnerable, young generation, adolescent, children are more vulnerable for this kind of acute, immediate mental health issues. But the other population also are not free from this. They are also suffering from long-term phases. Even those people, those are recovering from the COVID and having gone through the and have a victory over the COVID infection, they are suffering from the long phase impact of the psychological impact of the COVID-19. In few slides, we'll cover all those things. So this slide is visible, madam. Stress, addiction. Is it visible?
Yes,
Please
sir, it is
confirm me.
visible. Yes,
Yeah,
visible.
we can see the stress and addiction, right?
Yes, stress and
Yeah,
addiction.
fine. So not only stress, but we can say there are many studies and substantial evidences that not only stress and substance addiction, but almost all kind of misuse of technology has raised during this pandemic period. Although internet and mobile has proven to be great support for everyone, and especially it helped the students to remain connected with the institute, teachers by online classes from home. But the worst side also raised dramatically during this last 1.5 year of the pandemic. The misuse of internet technology has raised to the highest level during this unprecedented situation. And one of the example of such misuse of technology is mobile and internet addiction. Among students, compulsive use of internet for different purposes like cyber sexual behavior in form of pornography, fantasy sex, adult chatting, cyber relationship behavior in form of social media addiction, texting, messaging, and sharing objectionable content, photos, and videos. Not only that, net compulsive behavior has raised for gaming purpose, gambling purpose, compulsive trading, bank account hacking, and many more negative things. Information overloading behavior in form of compulsive surfing, searching has raised during this pandemic. So, my dear friends, suddenly we have seen that life during this pandemic is trapped. It's trapped within the triangle of host, agent, and environment, where the agent is virus itself, environment is very much contaminated with the virus. Even we cannot take breath. We need always to put a mask on our face. We are not free to breathe in the open air. And host, we are ourselves. So this is a disease triangle. We are now trapped within this triangle. We need to break it. But how? Because our mind is being also trapped within the demand created by all this disease triangle, and that is the psychological demands. Anxiety has suddenly raised. These are the symptoms of anxiety. Not only that, different kind of panic attack raised. Symptoms of depression also found to be raised. We all know that we have lost many famous faces, including Bollywood stars, social media stars, Twitter, Instagram, so many social media famous stars. And we all know that this anxiety, raising anxiety, panic attack, depression is not only dissolving our mind, but also dissolving our body and might kill us by attempting suicide or deliberated self-harm. As per the one of the study done by World Health Organization, every 40 seconds, one adult person or adolescent person is trying to attempt suicide by any means. So it is very challenging issue. Student's mind is the mind under construction. We all know this. And let's see the impact of pandemic on this innocent mind. Yes, this slide is visible, madam. That's showing the what is the impact of pandemic on the student's life. Is it visible?
Yes, what are the impact of pandemic on student life?
Fine. Okay. So I will request the audience to concentrate on this circle and the things written around and just listen me. So we are going to discuss what are the impact of pandemic on students' life. Globally, pre-lockdown learning pattern of the students predominantly involved one-to-one interaction with their mentor and peers group. Unfortunately, the nationwide closure of school and college have negatively impacted over 91% of the world's student population. It's one of the study done by the Singh, Sweta and al. On impact of COVID-19 lockdown on mental health and children's and adolescents. It's narrate that the home confinement of the students, mostly children's and adolescent group, is associated with uncertainty and raising anxiety, which is attributable to disruption of their education, physical activity, and opportunity for the socialization. Absence of structured setting of the school for the long duration result in disruption in routine, boredom, and lack of innovative ideas for engaging in the various academic and extracurricular activities. Not only that, impact is much more than what we believe and what we have seen. The recent day, in our OPD, many of the psychiatrists, my friends told me, and we also have experienced that recent day in our OPD, many students have expressed persistent low mood for not being able to play outside, not being able to meeting the friends, close relatives, and not being able to engaging in the physical activities, extracurricular activities, and school activities that they like most. Not only that, not only younger student, but the senior students are anxious regarding the cancellation of exam, various exchanges program, and academic events. In present pandemic time, there has been rise in the hoarding behavior among the teenagers. As per many authentic news, if I am not wrong, and as per the different journals updates from the website of Ministry of Women's and Child Development, it has been reported that due to prolonged confinement at home, there has been an increase in incident of being bullied, abused, physical and mental assault on various kinds, domestic violence, especially among the young generation, because of the helplessness has been raised during the prolonged pandemic. Parental death due to COVID-19 is one of the risk factor for the stress, anxiety, and major depression among the adolescent group. And the numerous deaths linked to COVID-19 are their first experience for many children with the brutal death due to the COVID-19 infection. No doubt, pandemic is a war-like situation. Panic, anxiety, fear, worriness are raising in the mind during pandemic, and that's lead to drop in the level of living and level of creativities. So this slide is showing how this kind of psychological events leads to drop in the level of living and creativity. We all know that the panic is raising, and because of this raising panic, status of living is falling very rapidly. Mind is switched suddenly to the fight and flight mode due to crisis created by the unprecedented condition. And we have dropped gradually from the level of living with the creativity, fascination, and self-realization to the level of survival of fittest due to direct impact on different factors of quality of life and different factors of disability adjusted life year, different factors of lifespan getting down, income, factors of development, economy, environment, and education. Every segment of the growth is being under the impact of this kind of pandemic. The basic safety, basic security, basic human nature of behaving, making attachment, and relating with each other is under threat of fear, that provoking further and building up stress, anxiety, depression, obsession, panic, and various distortion and deception of mind. So panic is more dangerous, friends, than any kind of pandemic. And it is our responsibility to save and protect our innocent children's, our innocent students, adolescents, to be the victim of this kind of pandemic, this kind of panic, by putting the knowledge to their mind. So, my friends, pandemic has brought in many new barriers and challenges in the life, almost in all domain, especially for the students, teachers, and educational institute. These barriers are not only limited to the policy level, but interpersonal, intrapersonal, and within the person's own mind. We have not only we are living in now in the policies of containment zone of the geographical area, but we have made the containment zone within our mind also. But that creating the inflexibility and that creating the unknown barrier, invisible barrier within our mind. We need to break that kind of barrier. Let us see the next slide, where we can see that small barrier, psychological inflexibility in the mind. If it exists in the mind, then mind magnify this, and it create a big distortion for the owner of the mind. And this kind of distortion that created by our own mind is known as chitta vritti, as per the Vedic culture and Vedic knowledge. Let's see how we are becoming the victim of our own mind. We all know that when our mind is our friend, we do not require anyone to be close. But when our own mind has become our enemy, now we do not need any enemy in the outer world. Our own mind will gradually kill us. So, my friends, my students, it is a request to you, don't be the victim of your own mind's noise that created by your own minds. Students, most students conceive this barrier either as obstruction or problem or challenges, and very few among them consider it as a better opportunity out of the worst possibilities. To meet these challenges, mind put forward many psychological and physical demands, depending on the defense system that running in the mind and depending on the level of ego that existing in the mind, depending on the maturity, you can say. And then we and our different organs start to either respond or react to those demands that give rise to building of psychological stress in the mind and somatic stress in the body. Yes, this mounting stress has potentiality to provoke lots of emotional, physical, mental changes, and it triggers further the disturbance of metabolic level and disturbance at the hormonal level, not only that, disturbance at the neurotransmitter level, that being manifested by the physiological disturbance of cardiovascular, neuromuscular, respiratory problems, digestive problems, and many more, including disturbance of immunity level too, very often evident from the panic attack, anxiety, obsession, and gradual take the forms of various distortion and deceptions of mind, that is known as chitta vritti in the as per the Vedic culture and Vedic knowledge. So, my dear friends, it is clear that barrier or inflexibility in the mind and containment in the outer world or the environment, in the living environment, causes the mental distortion or chitta vritti. So, we need to find out the solution for this kind of chitta vritti. And what is the solution for this kind of chitta vritti? So, actually, let's first understand to whom I am telling chitta vritti. I am telling chitta vritti to the mental noise. That mental noise means the perceptual distortion by your own mind out of panic, out of depression, out of anxiety, out of addiction, or out of resisting stress. So mental noise may lead to different gap. Gap where? Gap at the different domain of the life within the student's own mind. And that is the topic of today's event. And this gap may be within the student's own mind at the personal level, at the social level, at the family level, and might be raising interpersonal gap between the student teacher and student institute. So, my dear friends, we need to find out the solution to stop this mental noise. So, how to stop this mental noise or chitta vritti? Yes, there is the answer, and the answer is hidden within the script that returns 300 to 600 or 3rd to 6th century before Christ, and these scripts are been written by Maharshi Patanjali, and that was older than 300 to 600 before Christ, and it is known as the classical Yoga Sutra or Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In the sadhana pad of this sutra, we find two slokas that giving the answer to how to stop the mental noise. So our own culture, our own Vedic culture is not only older, but giving answer to all emerging problems in today's life, in today's modern life. So if you want to find out the answer, don't find out in this modern era, but go back to this Vedic era and find out the answer. The answer is practicing meditation and yoga is the good option to fill up this mental gap, mental crisis, and to stop this mental noise. What the sloka says, yoga sachitti vritti nirodha. Madam, it is visible.
Yes, sir,
My
it is
slides are
visible.
visible.
Yes, sir, it is perfectly visible.
Yes. So I'm telling yoga sachitti vritti nirodha. It's one of the sloka taken from the sadhana pad of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is older, 3 to 6 century before Christ. Very older script. And it says that if you want to suppress the modification, the magnification that created by your own mind, you need to meditate yourself. You need to perform yoga. I will tell you that yoga is not only twisting of your muscle and body and joint, but it is something else. The concept is different than what we believe today. I will prove it and I will show you further in different slides. Let's continue. So the next sloka says, if I cross time, please inform me because still I have few slides to discuss. Okay, madam?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah. So my next sloka says, yoga sachit vritti nirodha. And the next say, yoge nachitasya padena vacha mallam sarira sachvedakainam yopakarotam prabhuram muninam. And it speaks that I bow down to him who purifies the impurities of mind, speech, and body. So our mind create lots of impurity for us, so we need to create mental hygiene every day, and our speech creates different impurities for us and for our society. So that we need to purify our speech every day, and our body also create many impurities, and we used to excrete it in different form of excreta, and that's we are expert of cleaning our body. So today we'll discuss how to clean our mind and how to clean our speech, that is how to purify our mind from the chitta vritti, from the mental noise created by our own mind, and how to purify our expression by the either body posture or expression by the speech or body activities. And that is only possible by self-realization and gaining the knowledge and gaining the knowledge of different sciences which purify, including the medical sciences. So young generation need to practice, not only young generation, each and everyone, those who are connected today here, I request them to please go through practicing meditation at least 10 minutes every day. It will act as a magic on you, and especially on the young generation need to practice meditation and yoga to elevate the level of skill, level of knowledge, and level of perception, to regulate their own mind by themselves, not being victim of their own mind. If mind regulate you, you'll become the victim of the mental noise. And if you able to regulate your mind, you'll become the success. So it is as per the reference of the sadhana pad. I'm telling this two slokas. My friend, let's discuss what is yoga and how yoga works. Yes, what is yoga and how yoga works? See, my friends, yoga has many definition, many definition, but few selected definition I have shown here, I have highlighted here. See, you can see the bigger circle, black circle, then yellow, and then green, and then red. Where the black circle show Yuzir Yoge, yellow say Yuzir Samannamaye, and green blue says Yoga Sadhana, and the red one say Yog Samadhi. It has a different meaning. Yoga, you see, yoga means yoga is union. Union of what? Union of your body and your mind. Union of what? Your mind and the mind of everyone. Union of what? Union of your Atma with the Paramatma. Union of your individual identification with the universal identities. It has so many meanings. It's depends how you learn to unite yourself. So this is the one definition where yoga speak that it can fill the gap. It can fill the crisis created by our own mind. Yoga samaya mani means yoga is the
You
way
know, you
that
can't
we learn to
stop.
control. Hello, yes, we learn to control our mind. Yoga sadhana. Yoga is a discipline, and discipline, it is a continuous effort that brings our life so many disciplines itself, and not the the most important thing is yoga samadhi, means yoga is a way to concentrate, and yoga is the way to live in the mind, always in the state of meditation. So let's again discuss few slokas that define yoga. So, as per the Bhagavad Gita, this reference taken from the Bhagavad Gita and Yog Vasishtha, Ved Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, and also Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And it say, Mano Prasay Mano Upa Yoga It Baitate. Means yoga is a skillful trick to calm down your mind. Yoga Bhavati Dukha means yoga erases all miseries of life. योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संगम तत्व धनंजय सिद्ध असिद्ध समो भूत्वा समत्वम योग उच्यते. This is the line taken from Bhagavad Gita, where the instruction given, and it says, Dhananjaya, perform the action being steadfast in yoga, means being united with your work, with your mind, and also in connection with the environment, in the world, with the universe, what you are doing, abandoning the attachment and remaining equanimous in the success and failure. So yoga is the equanimity of the mind. Buddhi yukte jahati ho ubhe sukrita duskrite tasmad yoga yojaswah yoga karameshu koshalam. This is the 2.50 sloka up from the Bhagavad Gita that say equanimity cast off in this life both good and bad deeds. Thus, dedicated yourself to yoga because skill in action is yoga. So, my dear friends, yoga has different definitions, one different concept, and we have already seen. As per the Bhagavad Gita, it has a definition that say that yoga doesn't mean that you are twisting your body, you are doing so many exercise. No, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind to achieve the meditation. So mano prasaya mano upaya yoga it vidyate. Yoga is a skillful trick to calm down your mind, and it is the upaya. It is the one of the way, a skillful subtle process, not a brutal mechanical gross effort to stop the thought in the mind. So it is clear that yoga is not only about the twisting body, muscles and limb, but it is more about the mind body union, and the union of your mind and body with the world rather than dealing them individually. So according to Katha Upanishad, when five senses, you can say SIM card, sense, intelligence, and mind. This is the abbreviation. So when five senses and your intellect and your mind, That is known as the highest state of meditation, when all of these are not active. So if you achieve a state where all this thing you can make active and deactive of your own wish, that is the state of meditation. They consider yoga to be a firm resistant of the senses, restraint of the senses. Then one become undistracted for the yoga. By it's arising and passing away every moment, and we need to maintain it every second. So it is a continuous process, and it's not a cross sectional process, but it is a continuous process. So let's consider few concepts from the Upanishad and Veda. So we all know that Upanishad, what is the meditation and yoga as per the Veda and Upanishad? We all know that Upanishads are nothing but the concluding portion and essence of the Veda. We have four Veds, and Upanishads are actually the essence, the main knowledge part of the Veda. They also called Vedanta. Upanishad describes the inner version of the reality and resulting the intense self-inquiry. And these self-inquiries are basically expounded upon the three subjects, Jiv, Jagat and Iswar. So we are not going to the depth of all these things, but simply what the extract of these things. This says that the yoga and meditation means a journey from a Gochara to Chaitanya. Gochara means attention or concentration in whatever you are performing. If you are doing work, that is attention there. If you are running, you are playing, whatever you are studying, or you are worshipping to God, whatever the work you are doing, you need attention or concentration. So that is called Gochara. And enlightenment of mind, that is called Chaitanya or consciousness. So yoga or meditation is a journey from Gochara to Chaitanya. That means from concentration to consciousness, mental consciousness. The Upanishad expounded the technique, the teaching of the Veda. They took the idea of ritual and sacrifices from the earlier part of the Veda and internalize it, the teaching, the sacrifices of the ego through love and devotion to the divine, and that is known as Bhakti Yoga. The sacrifices of your ego by performing action, that is known as Karma Yoga, and sacrifices of your ego and calm down your mechanical defense level, and that is by the wisdom, that is known as Jnana Yoga. By self-knowledge or self-realization, that is known as Raj Yoga. We remember Swami Vivekananda, he practiced Raj Yoga. So yogic practices, particularly meditation, are also found in Buddhism and Jainism and so many other religions and other people's famous religions. So let us consider what the Grahan Samhita says. For the concept taken from the Grihan Samhita, it says that it was written something between 17th century to 16th century by Grihanda, and also known as Saptang Yoga. And it says that there are seven limbs of practicing yoga and meditation. Satkaramana Sodhancha, Asana Bhavedradham, Mudraya Sthiratacha, Pratihara Dhirata, Pranayama Alangabancha, Dhyanata Pratta Eka Samatamani, Samadha Nirliptancha, Muktareva Nashamasya. Meaning, the purification of body by satkarma. We can perform yoga and meditation by just following the seven limbs of this concept, this philosophy given by the Grihan Samhita, and it says the purification of mind can be done by satkarma. Strengthening of the bodies can be done by asana. Steady fast can be achieved by performing mudras, different mudras. At the end of this video, this program, I will share you some way to meditate and to perform yoga, and some link I will provide. So let's continue first all the little concept that I have taken from different great Grand Samhita and Bhagavad Gita and so many other Upanishads. So what does it say? That we can purify and we can be withdrawal from the sensory attachment of the world by practicing pratyahar. We can do the lightness of the body by practicing pranayama and perception by meditation, purification of perception by meditation, and isolation by samadhi, and that is known as meditation. So, as per the Yoga Sutra or classical era, that is written something between 3rd to 6th century BC by Maharshi Patanjali, the text describes the path of Ashtanga Yoga. Recently, we have covered Saptanga Yogas by the Grihand Samhita and by the Yoga Sutra, where the first Maharshi Patanjali organized the practice of yoga into 8-limbed path containing the steps and stages toward obtaining samadhi and enlightenment. Samadhi means meditation. So these 8 limbs are yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Yama means social restrainment, social ethics, rule we need to follow. That means yoga. Niyama, that means the personal restraint, mental hygiene, physical hygiene, tolerance power, purity of the mind. These are the component of the niyama. Asana means physical posture. So asanas are the one of the part, very little part of yoga, out of the meaning of yoga. So this combination of 8 limbs is actually essence of the yoga and meditation. Pranayama means control of the life forces through breathing control and regulation of the breathing. Pratyahara means a sense withdrawal in the perception for meditation. Dharana, that is the most important. We need to learn dharana, dhyana, and samadhi for the meditation. These are the 3 steps together known as Sanyama, and that is the highest point of the meditation. So we need to pass through steps. Number 1, dharana, that is concentration. Dhyana, one of the part of meditation, and samadhi, that is spiritual observation, when there is no difference between your own identity and the universal identity. So let us consider what is the concept of meditation by Yoga Sutra, written during the same century, same era by Maharshi Patanjali. It says, together, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi constitute the meditation. And when they happen together, they refer to as a sanyama. So, it is sanyam which lead to various siddhi or various success or gaining the consciousness. So, journey of concentration to consciousness can be achieved by following this 8 or this at least 3 rules, that is known as dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. It says that desabandha sachitasya dharana tatta parta ekako tanata dhyanam and tadev arthamatra nivasa sarupa sunya samadhi. It means the first thing you need to follow, the first stage to go to the meditation is to perform dharana, that means confinement of chitta, means mind, to one base, that means to one place, to one object, to one person, to one object of any kind. That is known as dharana. Dharana means concentration. This is the first stage. Next is dhyana. Tatra patta ekako tanata dhyana. Continuous attention is known as dhyana. That means in this stage, all effects are directed toward keeping the distraction away. When this effect succeeds and there are no any distraction, that state of mind is known as dhyana. And tadeva arthamatra nivasa swarupa sunya samadhi means meditation refer to the spiritual observation of the mind. It means that it's self samadhi when the self nature is erased completely and the objection shines forth, reveals itself. So my friends, let's come to the modern era. Meditation and yoga as per the modern time. We cannot forget the great says Swami Vivekananda when we are discussing about the meditation and yoga. So this slides is dedicated to the great time, modern time, evaluator of yoga, Swami Vivekananda. His remarkable lectures in the West, especially in the Parliament of Religion held in Chicago in 1893, marks the proliferation of yogic culture in the modern times. The eternal message of yoga emanated from the lip of this cyclonic monk had a great influence on the Western intelligentsia. Subsequently, yoga and its tradition received the strong inspiration and inputs due to the pioneering effect of several ligands of the India. So, my dear students, you need to practice meditation and yoga. But why? Why you need to practice meditation and yoga? Because if you learn to live in the state of meditation all the time, then we would able to regulate our mind ourselves rather than being regulated by your own mind. And we could able to loosen our grip created by our body, mind, and the world in our perception. We would able to enhance our skill, knowledge, and perception to the most evolved level. But how? How it is possible? Abhyas Vairag Vayam Tanirodha. This is the answer. The answer is hidden in this sloka. It say, only by practicing and by Vairagya, sometimes you have to withdraw from the attachment and sometimes you have to attach. That means you need to practice and we need to practice the Vairagya. And these two things, this two formula will give your mind in the state of meditation. We'd not and we would not be the victim further of the fluctuation of the mind and negative thought of the mind. We would be able to purify our expression of the sensing body, speaking intellect, and perceptive mind. Would learn to unite our body and mind with the blissfulness of ultimate reality, so called the wide universal identification of ourselves, that is universal existence, rather than the misery of the worldly attachment and narrow self identity only. The concept of yoga is applicable to all level of existence and awareness. Yoga is the union of apparent man, that is known as identified with the body, mind, and sense, with the real man who is the free from all sorts of worldly limitations. In this sense, the aim of yoga is to help us realize our identity with the real. It is a total transformation of an individual to his ultimate nature, and it's bring mental well-being. So it is clear that meditation and yoga practice would able to make the mental well-being. Mental well-being or peace, also known as chitta prasadanam, it is not a technique. It can be achieved only. It can be achieved by practice of meditation and yoga. But it is only achieved if the product of practicing meditation and yoga, and that product is peace, calmness of the mind, willpower of the mind, get reflected in our day-to-day activities, get reflected in our behavior, get reflected in our thinking, and then only it mitigates all kinds of ego, and by minimizing the use of poor quality of defense mechanism of our mind. So how that is possible? Yes, this is possible by one of the formula, one of the sloka given in the Vedic culture, and that sloka says, Matri Karuna Muddita Upechana Sukha Dukha Purna Apurna Vishyana Bhavati Chitta Prasadanam. Means meditation and yoga bring positive changes in our approach, attitude towards the different type of peoples or qualities of the people. What are those different qualities of the people and how to relate with them? Yes, this is the answer that says that we need to develop friendship. To whom? With the happiness, our own mental happiness and the happiness around us. We need to create happiness around us all the time, and we need to develop friendship with the happy people. We need to develop compassion towards the unhappy people and towards unhappiness created by our own mind. Create a compassion for that. Those who are suffering, create a compassion for them. Take a delight and joy towards the virtue or the virtuous people, and be equanimous toward the vice or the people exhibiting negative qualities towards you. So be equanimous towards this quality of people. And this quality of peoples are around us, within our mind, and with outside our mind. within our friend, within our family, within our society, within everywhere. So we need to practice all time this Maitri Karuna Buddhita Upechanam Sukha Dukha Purna Purna Vishyanam Bhavati Chitta Prasadanam. So in this way, meditation and yoga bring mental well-being. My friends, this is last slide. I will request you to just see how we can how we can create an environment within our mind and within our body for be ready for the meditation, and that is known as Surya Namaskar. These are the steps given here for the orientation before meditation. Surya Namaskar is a well devised mixture of yoga, asana, and breathing. Three things mixed together. Before practicing, undertake the practice of advanced yogic posture and breathing. And before going for the meditation, it is better and it is recommended to do the Surya Namaskar. Very, very small video I would like to play if it is possible. I don't know if it is possible to run this video or not. Still, I'm trying. It's not running. No, video is not running. Is it
So
running?
your video is not open actually. Where
Okay. Anyhow, 1 second, I'm trying. This class, it's not running. Yeah, it's not running. No matter. I will provide a link where you will get further further video related with the meditation and how to perform yoga, how to make how to help our students to perform meditation and yoga. And that link is nothing but just you find out my YouTube channels. That simply type it down, search for Dr. Santosh Kumar Pandit. There's a complete name, Dr. Santosh Kumar Pandit. There you would get a link where the all these things are there. I'm sorry to that I cannot run this file over here. And thank you,
no,
thank
sir,
you, thank
absolutely
you. Yes.
fine. You can share with us, and we will be sharing the same with our participants.
Okay, madam, how can I share this to Dr. Mahato? I will send it.
Yes, sir, you can do that, or else if you have access to the MS Team chat box over here, you can also post it here.
Okay, definitely. Today I will post it. Thank you for this session. It's a very nice experience today.
Thank you so much, sir, for this well explained and very, very informative and enriched session. And indeed, as you were saying, that this Vedic philosophy of yoga, which we have in our Indian culture, somehow it is a blend of both cognitive senses and the physical senses, what we call the karmendriya and gyanendriya. So we can
Yes,
train children and even the adults ourselves in most effective way. And no doubt it is one of the best technique to discipline our mind from within for impulse control and urge control, our ego domination, everything can actually be controlled and we can become more resilient. Thank you once
yes.
again for this excellent and informative
Thank you.
session, sir.
Thank you. Yes. Should I come out
And
of this setting? Should I come out of this setting or still I will stay here?
you can unshare your screen and switch on your video. We will be starting our question answer round with the participants, sir.
Okay, let me give me
Uh,
little.
Participants are
Uh,
requested to post your questions or queries, any feedback in the MS Teams chat box or in the WhatsApp group also. I will be conveying the same to Dr. Pandit.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We are waiting for the questions. Question will be coming soon. Meanwhile, I have one personal question
Yes, ma'am.
related to this thing. So, in this lockdown period, we all are locked up inside, right? For like from not from actually since last 1.5 year, and it is becoming very very difficult for the children, young children, to control their impulses anymore. Like they are unable to go anywhere, they cannot mix with friend, everything has turned into online, and even they cannot go for some vacation. It's a online work and working from home for both children and the parent, every one of us. So in this sense, it is very evident that the children are becoming little hyperactive, little impulsive, and often little aggressive due to the frustration that they have to stay all locked up inside, right? So how you think that yoga can help build resilience and control impulse? Because for small children we cannot just say that do this yoga, do this thing, because they are already doing so many stuffs online and it's all at home. So how to make this interesting for the young mind to be trained? That's my question.
Yes, madam, very nice question and very practical. We all at our home level, we are facing this problem. So very nice question. The answer is actually hidden that we actually, what kind of behavior, if you want to install within the mind of your child, you first need to change, not directly change the behavior, but indirectly, we can change it by changing the way of the skill he had and the knowledge he had and the way of perception he had. So we need to concentrate. If you want to change any behavior or if you want to install any new behavior within your child, you need to concentrate over the type of skill, type of perception and type of knowledge the child have already. So we need to elevate all this level first. And then once you elevate all these three levels, the intention first will get changed, and then the tendency of the mind will get changed. Suppose a child get up, not get up early from the bed, and she or he used to get up after 10 or after 9 a.m. when there is no school. So this is a habit, but you need to associate a new habit by replacing this. So you need to change the quality of knowledge that that child has, that she has certain association to sleep, late sleep. And for what purpose? For that purpose you need to change the intention, tendency, and then the habit will get automatically changed. Once the intention, tendency and habit will get changed, gradually it will take time, 2 or 3 months. Not it's a one day process, it's a continuous process. Someday they will skip, someday will they automatically they come out of these things. And once you change the habit by changing intention and tendency, this habit on gradual practicing on 3 months, 6 months, 1 month become a behavior change. And once this behavior for the enduring pattern, it's become a personality. So ultimately you have changed the personality of that child. And the answer is hidden. Tada drushta sarupe avasthana. Tada drushta sarupe avasthana. If you want to change the personality of a child, you need to change the behavior for the long time. If you want to change the behavior, ultimately you need to change the intention, tendency and habit. And these are the basic level. We need to change the composition, not the result. But we always worried about to change the result. No, it doesn't need any change. Just change the composition out of that result, that constitute that result. I think I can explain.
Yes, sir. Very nicely explained. Thank you so much for the answer. So, if you can please switch on your video. Uh,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
we have few more questions from our participant. Our
Yes.
participant, one of our participant has asked that how can we introduce the concept of yoga to preschool children at home during this pandemic time?
Yes. Very nice question. The concept of yoga, I have told through my many slides that yoga is not a single word and it's not a definition, but it is hidden in each and every activities. Whether you are sleeping, whether you are standing, whether you are talking with your body, whether you are relating, whether you are attaching, whatever emotional reflection that's coming out of you, what a thought is running within you, what are the activities, what are the perception level, these all things is basically yoga, because yoga means union of what? You are always being united within your mind with the work you are performing. So it doesn't depend what you are doing, whether you are studying, whether you are standing, whether you are talking with your friend, with your teacher, whether you are in institute, whether you are giving some interview, no matter, always be in the state of yoga. Yoga is, yes, the question is how to be make a regular practice among the preschools. Yes. So it is only possible if parents start doing these things at their home and the children follow them, and gradually it's become their habit, their tendency, that my parents getting up early, they're doing something called breathing exercise, something called yoga, and gradually they will ask, Papa, what you are doing? Mama, what you are doing? Why you are sitting for the long time in this posture? What are the benefit of these things? And gradually it make a place within their mind. So anything, if you want to give a place within the body, you need to give a place knocking in the body, in the mind also. First the things happen in the mind, then happens in the body, and then happens in the outer world. So we need to concentrate in the inner world first, right?
Very nicely explained, sir. That parent have to inculcate this habit within themselves before teaching it to their students.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes ma'am.
children. Yeah, yeah.
Yes ma'am.
So we have another question.
Of
This is
course.
from Aprajita, our own faculty. How yoga helps to enhance compassion for self as well as to others.
Yes. See, madam, very nice question. This root of these questions are hidden in love, devotion, compassion. Actually, extended love is known as compassion. So when you want to express your compassion, you need to practice the few things I told you: karuna, muddita, sukha, dukha. Karuna, muddita, sukha, dukha. What does it means? That means every time around us, this kind of peoples, those who are very sad, those some peoples are very happy, some peoples are not happy, not so much reflective with their emotions. But out of this, only four personalities being decided by the our yogic culture, and out of this personality, if we change our attitude, our approach, then we can practice the compassion. Compassion means the pleasant experience within your emotions. It's reflecting within your emotion. The love is reflecting from you within your all talks and all expression. That is a compassion. We need to practice compassion. Only it is possible when we mitigate our ego to the zero level, and that's only possible because zero is being ego is being defended by the defense mechanism of the mind, and defense mechanisms are different kind. When we used to use our intellect, our knowledge to defend something, that's our intellect is defending. So we should not use our intellect to defend something. Then we cannot practice compassion. But we need to stay somewhere in our defense system above our intellect, where the peacefulness of the mind is there, where the blissfulness of the emotions is there, energy level is very much blissful. Only that compassion can be practiced. So peaceful mind only can practice the compassion. Otherwise, it is impossible. It will biased compassion. It is a compassion to get something. So for practice compassion, we need to practice, you need to make your joints, your muscle flexible. Once your joints and muscle become flexible, your mind become flexible. Why? Because there is any knot in the body, there is a corresponding knot in the mind. And reverse is also true. If any knot in the mind, there is corresponding knots come out in the physical body. So we need to loosen our grip that created by the mind and loosen our grip created by our joint muscles. That is the practice of yoga and meditation. I
Thank you,
think
sir.
I can answer it.
Thank you. Another question from another of our faculty, Orkita Pal. She
Yes.
has asked that can you please highlight more on activity oriented meditation because it is not always possible to practice focus or guided meditation.
Yes, madam. Very nice question. If you are interested, madam, to go for focus oriented and activities oriented meditation, just simply you follow my YouTube channel where I have put recently for the pandemic period what kind of meditation we can practice in our day-to-day busy life. That's a 5 step in 25 minutes every day. That is already in my channel. Please, I request you to go there and if possible, subscribe there. You will get the update also related with the science and meditation. It's a combination of both modern science, psychological science, and the Vedic culture. Since I am related with that, this is why I tried to make it available for our students, make it available for our young generation, and for everyone, those who wish to get it. It's completely free. Nothing is required. Just subscribe, you will get that.
Definitely, sir. So, in this regard, as you just spoke about the activity-based thing, as Arkita Pal asked the question, so
Yes,
expressive art has become very, very popular concept these days in psychological therapy or psychotherapeutic technique, right? So,
yes,
in a way, can we amalgamate the concept of expressive art like dance, music, along with yoga to make it a little bit more interesting for young minds like small children, preschool, school age? Can it be done, that amalgamation?
yes, yes. Madam, what happened? Young mind is actually, just a minute. Yes. So I'm telling a young minds is a mind under construction. Always the road under construction. Somewhere there is a pitfall, somewhere there is a bump, somewhere there is something else. So for the young minds, they generally they believe that yoga means doing some sitting posture, doing something with our joint and muscles. But the modernized portion of this, and the few people practice this with their own knowledge, and they're applying this in the sector of dance and music, and they're compiling together dance and music with yoga to make it available very easily and ready to use purpose. Just like when we go to the shopping mall and we bring many dresses fit for us immediately without going to the tailor and going for the so many work before getting it fit to us. So the easiest way is to go renowned mall, shopping mall, and take all over whatever you wish. Similarly, since yoga is a big concept and we cannot put this all concept together within the road under construction, we cannot run a BMW car on a road under construction. So first to get a BMW, we need to construct the road, and that road is the mind. So first we need to change the road, the way of thinking within that's happening in the mind. That can be changed by dance, by music, along with the dance, performing yoga, different posture. That's also a posture because yoga is mainly when you come concentrate on the physical way only. When it has a many wing, physical wing, wisdom wing, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, gyan yoga, raj yoga. So if you just find to compile in bhakti yoga, mainly they do chanting, the music, and they want to get their life devoted to gods just by chanting, by music, and so many prayers. It's only of so dance and music is only one of the way, one of the branch of that. It's nothing new.
Thank you, sir. So there are so many questions, but due to shortage of time, we will be taking the last question now. One of our participant has asked that how to bring changes in the behavior of children in conflict with law with delinquency. So
Okay,
delinquent children, yeah.
okay. So you want to change the behavior of childrens and something happening in the mind of the children. See, the children's mind, as per the anatomy, is the evolving mind, and more than 12 into 10 to the power 12 number of junctions of nerves and axons, and so many axons are there where the neuroplasticity is going on. Once I say neuroplasticity, means knotting of the neurons and axons and synapses, right? It's just knotting of the threads. It's going on, going on, going on. So they are more brilliant than us. But the thing is that since we make it narrow, we just take all the options and we give them option only to do this. You need to do first, you need to get 100% marks, you need to do this only, you need to be doctor, you need to be engineer, not anything else. So we have given a narrow option to a unlimited mind, we have given a limited option. So what will happen? This happen that the children become dull gradually. They become dull because we are reflecting our wishes within their mind. We are trying to fit us within their mind. We have a limited capacity to think, and now this limited things we are making them limited. To whom? Those who are unlimited, potentially unlimited to get evolved. So it is our way that if you want to change any behavior, any kind of behavior, legal or whatever, the question that says, First thing is to find out what is happening, what is the kind of quality of knowledge the child has. First, find out the perception level of that child, then only try to bring any change. Because might be his perception is something innovative. So let him to think, let him express. Don't rebuke them. Don't limit them. Don't make a confinement zone within their mind. Okay?
Sure, sir. Um, Thank you so much. And our participants are thanking you with a whole heart for this presentation. They have really enjoyed the session. And one of the feedback I would like to read from here, it's a great presentation. Often we fail to emphasize our Indian philosophy on well-being. We tend to borrow
Thank you.
Western concept
Thank you
in
to all.
designing the intervention program. Thank you, sir, for
Very
throwing light
nice.
in the relatively less explored arena. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you all. Thank you, Akashi. Thank you all faculties. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Dipanjana, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dear participants, thank you for your patience listening. We hope that all of you have enjoyed and learned a lot by the enriched session by our resource person. Now, may I please request our head of institution, sir, to say a few words, sir?
Hello.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I lost my connection in between. Uh, there were some network issues. So whether the guest has left or he's still there?
No, sir, guest has left, I guess. Anindita ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Santosh sir, are you there? He was just there. He switched on
Mm,
his video.
Few minutes back he was there.
just a minute. Actually, there was some network issues. Uh, so, so we missed him. Okay. Then okay, take care. I will thank him personally. No issues. So we can proceed with the next session. So we can take a break of 5 minutes and we will arrange to call the next speaker. This is
Oh,
the
yes,
time.
sir. So that
So
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
by that
So
time, can we take 10 minutes